All right, welcome to the Ironwood Strength Show, where the information is raw, unscripted, and unedited. This is episode 13, and today we're going to be taking, in light of New Year's being right around the corner, I'm going to take a look at kind of the process of what you need to do to make your New Year's resolution successful. Okay, and this is going to pertain to the individual that is setting those resolutions, that is setting their goals, setting what they want to accomplish, or it could very well apply to a personal trainer who is working with someone that has those goals. Maybe they just started working with them, maybe they've been working with them for a while. But this information, it would directly correlate to deciding you want to do something, making that resolution, and actually making it happen. And that's what our goal here is to actually make stuff happen. So that's what we're going to look at today. First thing is, most resolutions fall flat on their face. Okay, because people come up with these ideas that they want to accomplish, but they have no real conviction to making those things happen. And until they decide, and decide is the key word, until they actually decide that they want to make a change, nothing's going to change. Right? You have to actually decide. You have to make that decision. Okay? Wanting to do something is never enough. It's not enough. All right? I can want to make more money, but as long as I sit on my butt and work the same job I've been doing, making whatever it is amount, I'm not going to make more money until I start moving towards, take that first step. At least, you got to pursue it further than that, but at least take that first step, finding a new job, finding ways of investing that brings money in. It's not going to be simply, I want to make more money. If you don't do anything about it, it's never going to happen. This exact same thing is true in the fitness world, or in the strength world, or the athletic world. Okay, if you want to be stronger, you actually have to do something about it. Okay, just wanting to be stronger isn't enough. Wanting to be stronger and going and doing the same workouts you've been doing that haven't been working isn't going to work. Okay, you actually have to take steps that are going to set you in the right direction. You have to make changes to what you've been doing. Okay, and that decision that you make, once you decide you're going to do it, you'll do it. But until you decide, as long as you just want to do it, you're not going to do it. Okay? The next thing you need to keep in mind in this whole decision process is that motivation is temporary. Okay? I can be very motivated to go do something, but if I don't have something deeper, some deeper need to accomplish what I want to accomplish, then it's going to die out. I've never added it up. I would assume it's in the thousands of athletes that I've worked with. I've seen a lot of athletes very motivated, and I put that in quotes, motivated to become better at their sport. But then as time goes on and everything else gets in the way, that motivation goes away. And it becomes just what I was talking about. It becomes just wanting to be better and not actually committing themselves to being better. So just motivation alone is not enough. You can be motivated, but that's what happens every New Year's. People are motivated and it lasts for 2 or 3 months. Okay? So it has to be deeper than that. That decision, the conviction has to go deeper. Right off of the motivation thing, just spinning right off of that, is quotes. Everyone has their favorite quote. Everyone likes to post quotes online. Everyone has to get these list of quotes that's going to get them to that next step. Yeah, throw them in the trash. Okay, quotes are useless. They are meaningless. Okay, I used to do that. Most of those quotes, I still have them somewhere. I don't even know what they are. There's 2 quotes that have stuck with me over the years, and one doesn't real. I guess they both apply, but 2 quotes in all the years. I'm 44 years old. All those years, 2 quotes have actually stuck with me, and it's not something. I'd say it's something I probably live by, but it's more the philosophy behind those quotes fits into my philosophy of how I go about things. Okay, just putting that quote on your fridge or having a quote on your cell phone that you see every time you look at your cell phone isn't going to be enough to make you go work out every day or to control your diet or whatever it is. The quote is meaningless. It has to come from you. It has to come from deep down in you and what you really, really want, and that you decide to take action to make that happen. And that will become more long lasting than simply reading a quote. That quote is going to be meaningless in the end. It's you that has to do it. You are the one that has to live it every day to make sure that it happens. Okay? It's not the quote. The quote's not going to get it done. It's you. You have to do it. Once these things are kind of established, knowing that motivation is temporary, knowing that the quotes are meaningless, knowing that wanting to do it isn't enough. Once those things are kind of established and it's established in you what you really are going to commit yourself to doing, nothing's going to stop you from doing it. Okay, there's nothing else in your way. Once you get rid of those superficial things, there's nothing really else in the way to stop you from doing it, provided that you have a deep down desire and have honest, good reasons to accomplish what you want to accomplish. Okay, which leads right into my next point. Be honest with yourself. Okay, the first thing you have to be honest about is, why do you want to accomplish this? Do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to lose weight? Do you want to be in better shape? Whatever being in better shape means. Someone's going to have to explain that to me someday. I've been in this field for a long time, involved some way or another in a long time, and I still don't know what that means. Love to know. Leave it in the comments. I want to know. But you have to know why you want these things. You want to be stronger. Why? Why do you want to be stronger? You want to be able to run faster. You want to be able to run a mile at a certain pace, or maybe run a full marathon or a half marathon. Why do you want to do these things? If you can't, and sometimes understanding the why may take a bit to answer. Okay, it may not be something you can answer right now. You may have the different thoughts in your head, but then when you look back on it several years down the road, then you're going to understand maybe the why behind it. But you can't just, I'm getting a little bit deep here, you can't just go about it without having some sort of why. Even maybe you don't know the actual why. Maybe that's a deeper down thing that's going to take a few years to figure out, but you should still have those preliminary whys as to, you don't just wake up in the morning and think, I'm going to run a full marathon this year, and then commit yourself to doing it and put yourself through that torture for X number of months to run a full marathon. Okay, you don't just wake up in the morning and say, I want to lose 100 pounds this year, and then just go do it. Okay, there has to be some sort of reason why you want to do this. It's not just this nonchalant thing that just happens. Okay, you have to have some deeper reasons. Be honest with yourself about where you're currently at. Okay, and this is extremely important. If you want to lose weight, but you don't know how much you weigh, You might as well just give up right now. Just go ahead and give up. If you have to know where you're at, okay? You have to know where you're at. It has to be measurable in some shape or fashion. It has to be, and you have to understand it. And you have to admit it to yourself, okay? You have to admit, for me, being a former competitive powerlifter, I still, in some ways, hold myself to the standards that I was at when I was competing. The last time I did a competition was 2016. It's 2023 going on 2024. So we're looking at almost 8 years. Coming up this spring will be 8 years since I stepped on the platform. But yet it's still in my mind of what I did 8 years ago and where I was 8 years ago. So for me, I have to be honest. And I got this, Kirk Davis told me this. He said, it was a couple of years ago, I was talking to him on the phone, and he said, you can't hold yourself to those standards. He goes, you have to set goals that are aligned with where you're at. He goes, you're 40, I think at the time 42 years old. He goes, you're 42. You need to have over 40 goals. Okay? And build from there. Did I like that? No. Do I still like that at this point? No. But was it real? Yes, it was. And that's where I had to change my mentality and say, I can't keep focusing on what I squatted or what I was benching 8 years ago. I need to focus on where I'm at now. How do I make improvement with what I have to work with now? I don't have the body of a 30-year-old or a 35-year-old or whatever I was. I have the body of a 44-year-old who was forced to take almost 2 complete years off of training. Okay, so I have to accept that. Then I can move forward. And it's the same with all your New Year's resolutions. You want to lose weight? Accept the fact that you are significantly overweight and know what that number is. Then you can start making progress from there. You want to be able to run a half marathon in a certain time. Know what you can do now. Okay? Maybe you do need to cut an hour off your time because you're that out of shape. Okay, that's fine. But don't think you can get somewhere without knowing where you are. Know where you're at now. That's going to help you formulate the process and formulate the things in your head that need to go on in your head psychologically to getting where you want to go. Which is my next sub point over be honest with yourself. Know where you're at was first. Second one is know where you want to go. Usually people start with that. I would rather you start with knowing where you're currently at and then deciding where you want to go. And it'll just help you because it'll give you a better framework, a picture, or a baseline to say, if I look at it and say, for me, I want to squat 600 pounds again. Well, that's not even in the books. That's not even remotely possible at this point. Okay? It's going to take me probably using the same gear I used back then. That's probably a 2-year adventure, barring the fact that I don't get hurt. And then you got to consider the fact of where I'm at age-wise. I'm not getting younger. So that's look at where you're at first. Okay, this is what my squat is now. It's going to take 600 may be doable, but I need to start somewhere else. I need to start by getting to this point, and then I need to get to that point, and then we can look at 600. Okay, have an idea of what you want to get to, but understand where you're at before you actually start setting the goals of where, before you start forming that roadmap. The third thing you need to be honest with yourself about is what are you willing to do? If your first response is, I'm willing to do anything. No, you're not. You're lying to yourself. Go away. Figure things out. Come back and talk to me later. Okay? If you're saying you're willing to do anything, you're lying. You're not being honest with yourself. Okay? What are you really willing to do? because doing anything is probably going to set you up for failure, because you're not going to be able to do everything. There's things that you're not going to be able to do. There's things that you're not going to be willing to, maybe from a moral or ethical standpoint. Yes, you can lose this much weight that fast, but is that healthy? No. And you're gonna figure that out when you start getting sick, and then you're gonna quit doing those things. So you're not willing to do everything. You want to lift a certain amount of weight. Okay, that's fine. Here's the steroids. Oh no, I can't use steroids. I can't use. Okay, then you're not willing to do everything. All right, you're not there, and so you need to understand that you have limitations, and those may be extreme examples, but you have limitations of things you're not willing to do. You may not be willing to take time away from your social life. You may not be willing to take, you may not be willing to stop drinking alcohol. You may not be willing to stop eating the way you've been eating. I would probably look a lot better if I lost around 40, 50 pounds. And not that if you can see my videos, I'm not just this over bloated type of guy. But I'm only 5'8", and I weigh 225. So if I really wanted to be lean and lose all my body fat, it would probably come down. I could probably be 180, and people would think I looked really good. But I'm not willing to do eat the way that I would need to eat. I'm not willing to do cardio the way I would need to do cardio. So no, I'm not going to lose that much weight. And I don't want to lose that much weight, so it's not that big of a deal to me. I don't have this incessant need to look fantastic. But you get my point. There are going to be limitations, and you need to understand what those limitations as what you're willing to do. There's limitations there, and you need to understand what those things are. And you may not know yet, but be honest with yourself when they arise, okay, and when they come up. All right. Now, time to set your goals. Okay, you figured out, you decided you're going to make a change. You're going to make a change. You are going to do it. You've made that decision. It's not superficial. You're going to do it. Okay, you're honest with yourself of what you want to do and why you want to do it. Now let's set the goals. Okay, and this is something that came out a long time ago. I don't even know when. It's been around for as long as I can remember. There's something called SMART goals. Okay, you may know what that is. A lot of people do, but there's a lot of people that still don't know what it is, so I'm going to go over it and how it applies. There's a lot of people that know what it is and don't take advantage of it. Maybe they have other things that work. Maybe they have a way of doing it that doesn't actually sit down and make it formal. That's fine. You can sit down and write it all out. You don't have to. But these are the things you need to be keeping in mind when you're setting the goals of what you want to accomplish. Okay. Now you have your grand goal. Okay. You have that grand goal. When you're setting your SMART goals, it's probably better to focus on smaller goals that will get you to that grand goal. Okay. So if you want to lose 50 pounds. Okay. Don't think that all has to happen at once, and don't set your goals accordingly. Set your goals on what you want to do this month or this week. Okay. Maybe that's in terms of numbers. Maybe that's in terms of getting certain amount of workouts in. Maybe that's in terms of how you're going to eat or whatever. But set your goals for a shorter time frame, and then build, and then after a month reevaluate, and then build to keep building until you meet that ultimate goal. Okay, so what are SMART goals? The first thing is the goals need to be specific. I've already kind of went over this, all right? Because relates to everything, or everything here relates to this whole process. The SMART goals relate to the entire process. Make sure it's specific. Don't just say, I want to lose weight. Okay, that's not defining what you really want to do. That's not going to cut it. Okay, and actually, let me do two of these: specific and measurable. Okay, the second one is measurable. Figure out what it is you want to accomplish and how you can measure that. Okay, I want to lose 50 pounds. It is specific and it is definitely measurable because you can step on a scale from day one, write it down, and then record your progress every so often. Okay, it is completely measurable. There's other things that are measurable too. Like I said, I don't think saying you want to be in shape is specific, but you could make things measurable out of that. Let's say you define being in shape as doing 3 cardio workouts and 3 strength training workouts in a week. Well, I mean, that's not being in shape, that's just the process of getting there. But you could utilize that, the measurable part there, by saying 3 cardio workouts of XXXX and 3 strength training workouts that include this, this, and this. And so I want to do these workouts for X amount of time. Now it's measurable because you can say, I did these workouts and those workouts were X amount of time, X amount of whatever it is that you want to do. But you can measure those workouts. I think that's a bad example, but it does work. Okay. But make sure it's something you can measure. If you don't have it, and like I said, it doesn't have to be always numbers. There's other ways of measuring it, but it has to have some sort of specificity that allows you to say, I accomplished it or I didn't accomplish it. If you can't know, if it's a vague goal, you may not know for certain, or you may start kind of lying to yourself and say, yeah, I did it. Okay? You have to have a way of defining, did you accomplish it or did you not accomplish it? Okay? Is it achievable? People make this mistake a lot. They set too big. I've done it 100 times on my own. Okay. Is it achievable? And everyone gets these big eyes, big, nice big eyes. And they think, oh yeah, I can accomplish that. Back up, talk to some people that have done it, know what their timeline was, and kind of reevaluate that. All right. Because if you set these big goals, and I like the vision there, like, yes, I really want to go get this, but if it's not achievable, you're never going to achieve it and you're going to end up quitting. All right. So set something that you can accomplish. You can do that by small little goals. I want to lose 2 pounds per week for 20 weeks. Okay. That puts you at 40 pounds. That's pretty good. But don't say I want to lose 40 pounds in a month. That's dumb. All right. And it's dumb, and it's most people can't do that. If you're extremely overweight, you might be able to do that with a very strict training and diet regimen. That's a very difficult thing to do. Set that smaller goal. I want to do 2 pounds a week for X amount of time. Okay, and you're going to have ups and downs. That's okay. You'll have ups and downs, but set goals that are very accomplishable or that are very achievable. They still need to be tough. They need to be tough, or you'll lose your motivation because it's too easy. Or you'll get there and then you'll quit, and it's just too easy to do, and you'll end up going backwards. So it still needs to be challenging. It needs to be tough, but it does need to be achievable, and it needs to be achievable in a certain amount of time, which that's coming up. Is it relevant? Okay? Remember what I said when I first started talking about SMART goals. Pick smarter or smaller things that will lead you to the bigger thing. The bigger thing is the ultimate thing you want to accomplish. What steps are you going to take to get to that bigger thing? And each one of those steps should be a goal that you've established that builds upon, or each one builds upon the previous one to get to the next one. Okay? But you have to keep your ultimate vision on that big goal, and then set the smaller goals using the SMART process, and ensure that those smaller goals are relevant to the bigger goal, that they're going to be there, they will apply to that ultimate bigger goal. The last one is T. Make sure it's timely. Establish a time frame. Make sure that time frame is realistic. Can you achieve what you want to achieve in that time frame? If not, maybe you should change whether it's achievable or not, and what you're going to be doing, or you need to change the timeline. And you can always reevaluate these things. Especially the timeline is probably one of the biggest ones you're going to have to reevaluate. All progress in the fitness world is not linear. It's not going to be 2 pounds week 1, 2 pounds week 2, 2 pounds week 3, 2 pounds week 4, 2 pounds week 5, until you get to your 40, 50 pounds or whatever you're trying to get to. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have to reevaluate how you were doing things. Whether it's weight loss, whether it's getting in shape, whether it's getting stronger, whether it's being able to run a certain distance in a certain amount of time. Whatever you're trying to accomplish, there's going to be setbacks, and you're going to have to reevaluate. Okay, I was doing X and it was working really well, but then it stopped working so well. That's accommodation. That's part of training. That's part of working out. Your body's going to accommodate. Okay, that's not working anymore. What's the next step we need to do to continue progress? That's part of the SMART goal process. You're going to have to reevaluate. You're going to have to, measure things constantly. Whatever benchmarks you utilize to measure things, utilize those frequently, not too frequently, but frequently enough to where if you're making progress at the rate you want to make progress. If you're not, start reevaluating what you're doing or the time frame in which you want it done. Okay, it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to reevaluate and adjust. It's a good thing to reevaluate and adjust because it's keeping you on track. You might be off the track you wanted, but we're going to get back on by reevaluation. That's part of the process. Don't think of it as a bad thing to not always be making progress at the rate you want to make. Okay, it's okay to slow down and then reevaluate and adjust and move forward again. That is part of the process. All right, next thing, find someone to help you. Don't go about it alone. I do that all the time myself, but most people, I have a huge knowledge base that I can draw from if I'm not making my goals, or I can reach out to other people, which I highly advise, and ask them, hey, what do you think about this? Okay, I tend to do it on my own a lot. That's what I was saying. But I can draw from 30 years of experience. I can draw from 17 years of coaching, 16 years of competition, 30 years total experience lifting and being in the fitness world. That's a lot of experience to draw from. Most people don't have that. Okay, and even then, I will still ask people, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, I'm deadlocked here. Tell me what direction you would go or what direction you think I should go. But find someone to help you. They can help you in the terms of providing information, being a consultant for you. You don't have to pay everyone. You don't have to pay for a consultant. You can if you want. But find someone that's went through it. Find someone that's done it. Find someone that has experience in that area and ask their opinion. Okay. Got to be careful with getting online. You got to be careful with just asking people that have experience, but you can get online and look for information. There's plenty of information out there. It's not all good, but there is plenty of information, and certainly you can find something that'll help you continue on. But I would definitely try to get a person there that you trust that can help you out by providing information or consulting. Or you could go the personal trainer route, whether that's a nutritionist. You can hire someone that will help you, and they should be able to actually help you, if you're hiring someone, to go through that SMART goal process. Okay, they should be able to say, hey, yeah, you have this nice goal, but that's not realistic. Okay, it does need to be realistic in manner, and be honest with them. Explain where you're at, explain what you're thinking, explain all these things, and they should have a knowledge base and an experience base that they can guide you in the direction that you want to go, okay, or that is going to help you get to where you want to go. Find someone, and this could just be a friend. Find someone that's going to help keep you on track, okay? Maybe someone that just checks on you every once in a while, and maybe you already have someone that'll do that. You don't even have to say anything to them. There are fantastic people out there that you may have in your life that tell them your goals, and they may just check on you from time to time. You're 6 weeks in. Hey, you said you were wanting to lose weight. How's that going? Don't take it as, oh, do I not look like I'm losing weight? No, just say, hey, I lost some weight initially. I've kind of slowed down though. But just having someone tell you that or ask you those questions, hey, how are things going with the whatever goal you set? How are you doing with that? Are you still keeping up with your workouts? You still eating clean? Having that, just those few questions will help you stay on track. It's going to help you think, hey, I want to go, next time they ask me, I want to be able to tell them I did this. I lost this amount this time. So it does provide some motivation that is a little bit more meaningful, because it feels like someone actually cares about you, that will help you stay on track. Okay? Also, find someone to do it with you. There's nothing better than having a good training partner. Okay, there's going to be days you don't want to work out, but when you have someone that you know is waiting for you to work out with them, it's a little bit easier to go, hey, I'm really not feeling it today, but I'm here. And then all of a sudden, you start warming up with them, and all of a sudden you start feeling it better, and you end up, whether it's from talking with them or whether it's because you just get some blood flowing, all of a sudden you're having a great workout, you're having a great time, and you have someone to share it with. All right, so that does make a big difference in you making progress. Just having someone to go through it with you. Maybe you have different goals, but at least they're similar enough to where you can go through the same workouts, or maybe it's someone that you just like. You guys both like being around each other, and you like doing stuff together. But that will provide additional motivation that is more meaningful, that will help you stay on track with what you want to accomplish. Next one, and you're probably not, a lot of people probably won't like this one. Okay, don't listen to your friends. All right, they lie to you. First of all, they will lie to you. They're going to tell you you look great. Let's say you're trying to lose X amount of weight. They're going to tell you look great no matter what. You could have gained weight, and they're going to tell you look great. Oh, you look great. You don't need to lose weight. You look fantastic. They'll tell you, I can't believe you can go run all that. You do all those. It's just so great that you can do it. I missed 2 workouts this week, though. Well, you're fine. You run all the time. You're good. Okay? They're lying to you to make you feel better. Don't listen to them. Find that one person, like I was just talking about, that you can listen to. Most of your friends, you're not going to be able to listen to them. They're going to lie to you to try to make you feel better. And it probably does make you feel a little bit better. But deep down, you know you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. You know you're not making the progress you want to make. Okay? So have that 1 or 2 people that you really trust, that know what you want to accomplish, and that are going to keep you going in that right direction. They're going to be honest with you. They're not going to tell you all the sunshine and rainbows type of stuff. All right? The next thing is, your friends don't know. They don't know a lot, okay? They might not know anything about fitness, but you're listening to them instead of listening to someone that does actually know. They may not know your true reasoning behind why you want to do these things. Okay? And then they're pulling you away from it because they don't understand, they don't know, or they don't understand that true reasoning. Okay, so we need to keep so they're gonna how are they gonna help you in any way if they don't know whatever it is that they should know, okay, to point you in the right direction. All right. Which is the next thing. They pull you in the wrong direction. You're trying to lose weight. Hey, let's go to the bar tonight. Eat some wings, drink some beers, and don't worry about your diet. It's just one night. Except you do that one night twice a week, or once a week even, or multiple times a month. Now it is hurting your diet. It is hurting your workouts. It is hurting what you're trying to accomplish. But they're going to tell you it's not going to hurt you, and you're going to keep going because you want to hang out with them. Okay, so don't listen to them. Going out once a month probably isn't going to hurt you. Going out once every 2 months, it won't hurt you. It's going to be one time. You'll recover from that pretty quickly. But constantly doing things and then telling yourself or letting them tell you, either one or both, that it's okay is not going to get you going in the direction you want to go. Okay, so like I said, don't listen to your friends. They lie to you, they don't know the things that are important, and they pull you in the wrong direction. Next thing is, when are you going to start? Now, this is kind of in the context of New Year's resolutions, but if you decided you wanted to do something in October, why are you waiting to New Year's? Why are you setting a New Year's resolution in October? You can start now, okay? If you're just start doing something, start controlling your diet, start working out, start going for a run, start getting to the gym and lifting weights, start doing the things that are going to get you in the right direction. Even if you don't know what you're doing at this point, you don't have to have this perfect plan. That may come in time, and it's never perfect. Just keep that in mind. It's never going to be a perfect plan. But what are you waiting for? Get out there and start. Start doing something. And as you go, you're going to start figuring things out. As you go, maybe you'll hire that personal trainer. As you go, you might find that true friend that's going to be honest with you and keep you on track. These things will work themselves out over time. But get started. You need to start now. Don't start in March. Don't start 5 days from now. Start now. Okay? And I'm realistic. Today's December 30th. You don't have to start January 1st when you're still have all those treats around the house. You can throw them in the trash and move on and get started. But real world, okay? You probably want to get through that and then Let's set a date, January 5th. All the junk food's out of the house. It is on that day. Okay, so I am realistic on that, but don't put this off. You know, if it was October, don't put it off till New Year's. Start in October. If it's March, don't sit there and say, well, in another New Year's resolution is going to happen in March. It's not a big deal. Don't sit there in March and say, I've been thinking about this. I was thinking about making a New Year's resolution. I haven't started yet. Get started. Start now. Don't wait. Don't sit there in March and be like, well, next month I'm going to get started. You're not going to start, or you're going to start with a lackluster attitude and you're going to quit. Start now. Make the commitment and get started. Okay. Brings us to a repeat of point number 2, which was be honest with yourself. Okay. As you go through this process, it's very important that you stay honest with yourself. Where are you at? Are you making measurable progress? Keep that in mind. You always have to know where you're at to know where you're going to go. You can know where you want to go, but if you don't know where you're at, you're never going to get where you want to go. Okay? Know where you're at. That will help you get to where you're going. Okay? But know where you're at all the time. You want to get stronger, have X amount of times that you're going to test your strength. And there's different ways of doing that. This isn't a detailed conversation because I can go into a lot about how you test strength and when you test strength and using different exercises to test different things. That's not the point of this, but set it up. I'm going to test my strength in some way every so often and have that time frame down. Running. I know I can run this fast. Set goals. Okay, I'm going to run this distance in this time by this date. Know where you're at. Have those dates outlined that you're going to test something so you know where you are currently at. You should always know that. Does it have to be every single day? No, there's give and take there. But you should have a time frame for knowing how you're measuring your progress. I have a couple other points here, and I'm having a hard time reading my notes right now. Oh, be honest with yourself as you're going through this about missing workouts. Missing workouts happens, okay? But missing a workout can lead to multiple missed workouts. So, yeah, your friends got you to go out and you missed a workout. They got you to go to a party, they got you to go to the bar, they got you to go to some social event, some dinner, whatever the case may be, and you missed a workout, okay? Well, that makes it that much easier to miss another workout. That's not necessarily the case. You may miss one workout, you may get right back on track and never miss another one. But be honest with yourself about that, okay? Don't say it's okay to not get your workout in. Have a plan there. Okay, I'm going to miss this workout, but the next time they ask me to go do something, I'm not going to go do it. I'll go do it with you today, but I'm not going with you next time. Okay, that's a way to accomplish that. There's different ways. You have to figure this out on your own, but understand that if missing workouts will lead to multiple missed workouts if you're not careful. Be honest with yourself about it. If you got to write it down, keep a log and write it down. This workout, I did this workout on this day. You know, write every workout down. Or have a calendar. I think my wife used to do that with her running workouts. And she would write down her time from a run each day that she did that run. You know, and then that keeps her accountable because she's writing something into each one of those boxes. Or you could simply cross off that workout for that box. Again, there's different ways of doing this. I'm not giving you a complete blueprint on how to go about it. Some of this you're going to have to figure out on your own, of what works for you and what doesn't work for you. But be honest with yourself as you go. And writing it down sometimes really helps with that. Eating is the same way. Be honest with yourself. If I have this donut, because my boss brought in donuts for everyone today, is that going to lead to me wanting a second donut? or a donut tomorrow. Or maybe when I stop at the gas station, I'll get this. Or be honest with yourself. If that's eating that donut is going to make you want to eat more, don't eat that donut. If having junk food in the house makes you want to eat junk food, whether even though it may not be yours, it may be your wife's or your husband's or your kids. But if you have that food there and it makes you want to go eat it, then don't have it there, or tell whoever's food that is, hey, keep it somewhere else. Don't keep it in here because I have access to it and I'm going to eat it. Be honest with yourself about your eating habits. If you can't be honest with yourself, you're going to have problems. That pretty much wraps it up. The key thing here is it has to be deeper than just wanting to do it. From making that decision, making the commitment, being honest with yourself, setting real tangible goals, smart goals, finding people that help you and not listening to friends. It all goes deeper than just wanting to do something. So I wish you the best in your New Year's resolutions. I wish you the best in setting appropriate goals and working to reach those goals. Please keep watching the show. This is the Ironwood Strength Show. Hit the like button if you like what you're seeing. Subscribe to the channel. Okay, there's going to be a lot more stuff coming out, a lot more videos coming out. Subscribe to the channel, and if you know of anyone that's could benefit from this information or would be interested in this information, please share it with them as well.